Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is January 13th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. Going to do a bit of an abbreviated video here today as I'm going to go down and chase that blizzard on the Oregon-Washington border with the big east winds. But you can clearly see the system rolling into Oregon. That is our next frontal system. It's already spreading precipitation across Northern California. It's going to bring some nice mountain snows, but it is going to really wind down by the time it gets towards Southern California. Not many impacts down there except for some windy conditions associated with it. But then we'll take a look at the extended forecast, and we'll go over that a bit more tomorrow in a full briefing here and try to nail down what is to come off into the future. It looks like the GFS kind of went towards what the European was saying with a little bit wetter conditions possible. So let's just dive into things. You can see the winter storm warning that goes all the way on in through tonight, 9 p.m., 8 to 15 inches of heavy wet snow accumulations above 4,000 feet. And again, the heaviest snow is last night into early Saturday morning, so ongoing right now. Some of the winds are pretty gusty across the higher terrain as well, and some of the northern valleys, some strong south winds as well. There's some wind advisories up. And if we take a look here at the major snow across the Sierra Nevada, you can see some pretty moderate and major impacts across a lot of the Sierra Nevada up through California. And this goes all the way through today, January 13th. Avoid travel if possible. You guys know the drill. Try to put this off for at least a day or so. And you can see the winter storm warning and winter weather advisory across some of the central and southern Sierra Nevada. And you can see some biggest snow accumulations there, especially across the higher terrain. And this goes until 10 a.m. Sunday morning. Now, looking at the wider view, you can see we've got the flood watch still across the coastal areas. We actually have an excessive rainfall outlook. There is actually a slight that's been introduced. We've got winter weather advisories, the winter storm warnings, and there's that southerly gusty wind I was talking about. We'll look at some of that. You can see some wind advisories down across Southern California as well, and still a freeze warning ongoing across some of the Southern Valley, probably wrapping that up here soon also. And you can see across Nevada some winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station, click on that link down below. Highly recommended. Save 10% on it. Now, looking at the NAM 3KM, if we scroll through this morning, it's about 10 a.m., so this is in a couple hours now, and you can see that precipitation moving down towards the Bay Area as we go on in through tonight and eventually down past the Bay Area before it really starts to lose its punch here. So by the time we get on towards tomorrow afternoon and then later into the afternoon, a lot of precipitation is going to be winding up. You might get some shower activity here across some of the higher terrain, especially towards the Grapevine there and some of the Southern California mountains, but it shouldn't amount to much. Big amounts across the Sierra Nevada and Northern California, and some nice rainfall amounts across the Bay Area as well. Now, taking a look at 80-meter wind speed here. So I want to show you the gusty southerly winds that are showing up on the North American high-resolution model and across the Sierra Nevada. And eventually, it's going to be spreading down across Southern California, too. So you can see the big winds across the higher terrain. If you're out in the backcountry, there are big-time winter storm conditions incoming here. And you can see the frontal system sagging across the Bay Area as we go through late tonight here and on through the NAM 3KM, and this goes out about 60 hours. But you can see some of those winds coming down across Southern California. But again, not expecting much precipitation at all for Los Angeles or San Diego, for example. Now, looking at a wider view of things here, you got the Hawaiian Islands at the bottom left. Here's the European last night trend versus the GFS. So you can see our storm system marching down across some of the state as we go through to tomorrow morning. Get a little bit of a break here, and then the European tries to bring, that's the European model, and this is the GFS, the American model on the right. You can see the next frontal system move into Northern California. The GFS trending a little bit wetter with that one also. It brings the system through here. Maybe we get some more mountain snow out of that. We'll see, and we'll check back with that tomorrow and let the models, give us some more data. And then as we go off into the extended forecast, it's going to be a kind of a cat and mouse game of just how much this ridge builds and how much of this next systems can get in here as we go towards the end of next week. Looks like the European still wants to keep things wet at times. The GFS a little bit further away and a little bit stronger with the ridging that's going to be out in front of this system out across the Pacific Ocean. So that will be, we'll revisit that tomorrow and try to get some better model agreement. The closer we get to these events, definitely the higher accuracy they have and the better confidence we have in them. Taking a look at the total precipitation on the National Blend of Models, you can see the precipitation ongoing as we speak, and this is about noontime today. Starts to get down towards the Bay Area, and then eventually, even some moderate rainfall across some of the Bay Area down the central coastline as well. But you see, it just kind of loses its punch by the time we go on in towards tomorrow morning. Not expected to affect Southern California here, but some big amounts across some of Northern California, especially the coastal areas with the flood watches out there. So check with your local advisories there with the National Weather Service if you have concerns or you need to be out and about, and some big amounts across the Sierra Nevada also. And if let's go ahead and scroll out into the future as well, because you can see that next system start to show up as we go through next Tuesday night, bring an additional round of precip. Then maybe as we go towards the following weekend here, you can see some better precipitation amounts trying to creep down, maybe even towards Southern California. We'll see how that trends as we go. We're looking, 10 days out at this point. We can see some big amounts in the northern half, and hopefully we can start to get Southern California activated in some of the storm activity. This is the day one excessive rainfall outlook. That's slight risk here and some marginal out there. So heads up if you're going to be out and about here. This is for potential for flash flooding conditions within any 25-mile point, about 15%. So some pretty heavy rainfall incoming for Northern California, Northwest California. And again here with that day 1 through 3 winter storm impacts down the Sierra Nevada here as well. You can see nothing for Southern California there through the 3-day period. And looking at the 2-meter min temperature here, you can see we've got this slow warming trend here as we go on in towards next weekend there, with the warmer southwest flow returning potentially to some of California, or maybe it'll be ridging. We'll see how close those systems get here. But we'll be watching day by day, and we'll be breaking things down for you so you won't be surprised. Here's the 6 to 10 day all the way through January 22nd. You can see the above average conditions returning to much of the west, and above average precipitation is expected through January 26th as well. And hopefully the system today is going to help out with some of the snow water equivalent across the Sierra Nevada. You can see many areas are below 50%, not doing too hot. We are playing catch up right now. Hopefully these systems that get going in the next couple of weeks could bring some moisture back into the Sierra Nevada. We're starting to get a little bit below average here, and hopefully not start to introduce any drought concerns across the state. But anyway, I'm going to get on the road here quickly and drive down there. And if you want to watch in the Pacific Northwest Weather Channel, we're probably going to be live streaming here. You can have an anemometer mounted on the vehicle here. We're expecting winds up over 80 miles per hour, so it should be fun. Go ahead and click along and join with that if you like. And we'll do a full briefing tomorrow. We'll break everything down. We'll have more data on the upcoming storm. And then watch out for this one going through today, though, especially across the higher terrain, high impact stuff. You can get some blowing snow, big winds out there. You guys know the drill. So anyway, I hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.